Today on Bakes and Blenders, we're going to be making the cutest mini brownie sundaes. We're going to have a little mini brownie bite filled with the best stabilized whipped cream, topped with chocolate sauce, sprinkles, and of course, there's going to be a bright red cherry on top. Let's make those mini brownie bites first. Lightly coat your 2 mini cupcake pans with some baking spray and then set those aside. Meanwhile, melt your unsweetened chocolate bar and your unsalted butter and set that aside to cool slightly while we begin to beat our other ingredients. With just an electric hand mixer, you're going to beat your white sugar, your brown sugar, eggs, and vanilla until combined. You may need to scrape your bowl down once or twice during this process. You'll find the recipes used in this video in the description box below. Once the mixture is well combined, you can scrape your bowl down again and add your all-purpose flour and gently fold that until there are no more dry pockets and it is just combined. The recipe for these brownie bites is actually based off of the brownie base that I used in my mint chocolate brownies, so if you'd like to check out that recipe, you can find a link to the video up on your screen right now, or you can go check it out in the description box down below. Once the flour is incorporated, we're going to add our warm mixture of chocolate and butter. Add that to your bowl and gently fold until it is completely combined and you don't see any light streaks in the batter. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of my videos. Use a small cookie scoop or a slightly mounded tablespoon to distribute your batter evenly among your 2 mini cupcake pans. You should be able to get anywhere between 40 to 48 brownie bites. You don't want to have any more than that, so if you do end up with extra batter, just divide that among the cupcake cavities. I ended up underfilling my first tray, so the ones in my second tray were slightly bigger. It all worked out though. Bake your brownie bites at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 14 to 16 minutes. The edges should be set, and if you put a toothpick in the center, it should come out with a few moist crumbs, but there should not be any goo on it. Let the little brownie bites cool for about 5 minutes, then you want to press an indent into every single one while they're still warm. You don't want to go too deep, and you don't want to make the edges too thin. So I used the end of a small fondant roller, but you could use a teaspoon or a half a teaspoon. You just want to make a little bit of an indent so that you'll be able to fill them with this amazing whipped cream that we're going to be making. Then let them cool completely in the pan before removing them to a cooling rack. Once they're cool, you can use a thin plastic spatula to loosen them a bit, wiggle them around a bit, and then you can flip them out onto a pan. If they don't all come out right away, that's okay. Just gently work at rotating them in the cupcake cavity, and then you should be able to pop them out real easy. If you're not going to use your mini brownie cups right away, go ahead and put them in an airtight container layered between pieces of wax or parchment paper. They'll be good for at least 1 to 2 days before filling, if not longer. And here's my other pan of the mini brownie bites. This is the one that had a little bit more batter in each cavity. As you can see, they are bigger. Now let's make that chocolate sauce. Now this stuff is basically just a ganache. You're going to heat up your little bit of cream and pour it over your chopped chocolate with a little bit of corn syrup and stir that until it's smooth. Now if you've been stirring for a while and there's still lumps and chunks in it, put it in the microwave on 50% power for about 10 to 20 second intervals, stirring well after each one. I love adding corn syrup to this recipe because it gives the chocolate sauce a nice shine and a really good texture. You really need to be using a stabilized whipped cream for these mini brownie sundaes, and today we're going to be stabilizing this whipped cream with instant vanilla pudding mix. It makes it taste insane. Beat the whipped cream just to get it to start to thicken. That should take about 1 to 2 minutes on a medium to medium-low speed. Then you can add the pudding mix and beat on a medium speed until the beaters are leaving tracks in the whipped cream, and that'll take another 1 to 2 minutes. Before I begin, I like to chill the bowl and my beaters just for a little bit while I'm making the chocolate sauce, but that's optional. At this point, the whipped cream is still a little bit loose, but it is significantly thickened. I don't want to overmix it, so I switch to my balloon whisk and just give it a good whisk by hand until it's thickened up and it's holding on to soft peaks. This cream will thicken as it sits, so you don't need to get it super thick, but you don't want it runny. Put your chocolate sauce in a small piping bag, transfer your freshly whipped cream to a piping bag fitted with a round nozzle. This is a 2A. Grab your sprinkles, grab your cherries, and we are ready to start putting together our mini brownie sundaes. Simply take one of your mini brownie cups and pipe a nice blob of the stabilized whipped cream into the center. You want to fill up the indent and then mound it a little bit on top. Then take your chocolate sauce, and it's not going to run like a chocolate drip. You're going to pipe almost like a wonky looking star shape blob. It will settle a bit. Sprinkle with those rainbow jimmies and then gently place a cherry on top, and you're good to go. You'll need to serve and eat these mini brownie sundaes within 2 to 4 hours because of the whipped cream. If you're not going to, put them in an airtight container in the fridge, and they should be okay overnight, possibly longer, but I only kept them in there for one night and they were still fine. The brownie cups are deliciously fudgy with nice crisp edges. That whipped cream is really a cross between whipped cream and pudding, so it's light and fluffy but so flavorful. And then of course, who doesn't love a nice drizzle of chocolate, rainbow sprinkles, and a delicious maraschino cherry. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and that you're going to be able to make your own mini brownie sundaes super soon. If you liked this recipe, you're probably going to love my cookie dough brownies. I'll put a link up on your screen and down in the description box below. They are so rich and decadent. You gotta check them out. I'll see you in the next video. Happy baking!